Let them eat cake.
Cake! I love cake so much.
Hey, really quick before we get started, I just want to take a moment and say thank you to everyone that's been watching this. My last video got over 1,000 views, and for most channels or a lot of channels that's really small, peanuts. But for me that felt really great, and so to all of you that watch my channel and keep watching it, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate each and every one of you.
Let them eat cake!
I hear some of you asking, what's up with the cake? So what's up with the cake? Well, in my last video, I mentioned Ludum, the next one coming up. This is the first jam I ever did. I participated in it this past weekend, and my entry in the compo is called Let Them Eat Cake. And that's what's up with all the cake references. And that's what I'm going to show you today, is the making of this game, what I'm happy about, and what I feel like it could have been better. The theme for Ludum 51 was every 10 seconds. I submitted my game in the Compo, which you have to do as a solo dev. But when I first heard the theme, I did ask my wife and my daughter what game they would like to make, or they would like to see made with that theme. And my daughter was the first one to say anything, and she said, what if cake fell from the sky every 10 seconds? And you know, that's something only a child would think of. And I latched onto it, and my wife recalled this Sherman and Peabody movie that I showed in the beginning about the Let Them Have Cake, and she suggested that be the name. And from there, everything was just myself doing it, but I let them continue to throw in ideas along the way, and I think it turned out pretty cool because of that. And it's actually really fun getting other people's ideas in the game design process. Alright, let's get down to brass tacks. We now have a theme, which is every 10 seconds. We now have a concept, which is cake falling from the sky. And now we need the gameplay. What would the player do? How would they interact with this cake? Well, the thing that came to my mind initially was whole I/O. I'm going to show you a short snippet of that, and I thought, well, what if we kind of replicated that gameplay but with this cake? Just for fun, I ran this game concept through DALL-E 2, and this is the result it gave me, which is kind of horrific. The compo time is only 48 hours, so time is ticking. I created a Unity project and a GitHub repo to get started. One skill I've been sharpening is prototyping quickly. So this is a series of prototypes that I created. You'll see I started with very basic shapes, and then I created the shape I actually wanted, and then I added materials, and I got the movement working basically, and I had a prototype working within just the first couple hours. Another area I've been leveling up my game dev is making sure that I keep scripts that are useful from project to project in a shared folder that I can just import. So this timer functionality was just code I already had. I added some basic sounds, and now it was time to get into Blender and get to modeling, because there were a few assets I needed, and you have to make everything by yourself for the compo. Me making a carrot, it was pretty easy to make, mostly just a cylinder that tapered down. And then I took some cubes and stretched them out and used them as the leaf. Next I made a coffee cup. I'm pretty pleased with how this one turned out. This is at 20x speed. I'm really actually pretty slow in Blender still, and just a novice, which I think is obvious if you saw my last video. But it's a skill that I'm working on, and I'm happy about that. Lastly, I made a steak, and I think it turned out pretty cool too. This is what all three of the models look like, all said and done. Alright, we're going to pick up at the night before the deadline, and I'm about to go on a 15-hour tear to get this project done. 14 hours left. Monstrous can of Red Bull. Let's get this thing done.
Why am I not growing? Is that your disclaimer? If I don't grow? How do I win?
What do you think about the sounds?
Well, how'd you get to be so high?
I'm the master. Piper, you gonna play test it? Special thanks to my very wonderful playtesters, Reagan, Piper, and Brittany, for pointing out the good things about the game and letting me know the flaws and finding some bugs for me. That helped me really make use of my time wisely when I got down to these 14 last hours.
See, I got 6, 5, 0.
No, that's an 8. Say 850.
8, 5, 0. Can I try it again?
Sure. In these last hours, I had some problems to solve, like generating these cakes and these special items as the player moves about, and also doing this in a way that's semi-performant. So I used the mind of this great fella here, you might recognize him, and his tutorial on pooling inside of Unity to solve this problem. It's the first time I've done pooling, and it's pretty cool. What went well and what missed the mark? Alright, beginning with what went well. I've got a fully functioning game with most all of the features I wanted in it, and I got it in time. I actually had an hour and a half that I submitted it left over at the end, which is pretty good. Normally I'm racing the clock right at the end, and this was a lot less stressful, so I'm glad I did have that extra time. The game's pretty fun, honestly. I think it's kind of fun to try again and try to get a high score. I think another thing that went well is my previous problems in game jams is that I come up with too big of an idea and I'm not able to fully develop it in the time. In this case, I came up with a simple idea and I was able to make it fun. And I think that's the right way to go in jams. As for what could have went better, I really wanted to get a global scoreboard implemented, but for a 2-day game, just creating an API and getting that working just wasn't in the cards this time, but I thought that would greatly increase replayability to let people compare their scores with their friends or just other people in the community. The last thing that's unfortunate for this game is the performance still isn't where it needs to be for me to have released a WebGL version. Unfortunately, the frames dropped when I did that, and I think I know the root cause. I think it's all those particle systems I have. Instead of using billboards and displaying sprites in the shape of the crumbs that I wanted, I used spheres and cylinders, and there can be hundreds, maybe even thousands of those things showing at a time, so I'm sure the vert count just goes crazy, and that was one thing I would like to fix if I go back and work on this game later. All in all, I'm very pleased with the result of this. I think it's a fun game, and for a 2-day jam, I think my progress as a game developer is beginning to show. If you made it this far, you really are the MVP of this channel. I appreciate you especially. That's going to do it for this one. I look forward to making a squishy video soon and picking up on that project. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon in the next one.